A movie that posits the idea that hugging is the solution to every single one of life's problems. Which may be correct. I haven't tried it. That's right. I've never hugged anyone before. Jamie?
Yeah.
Let's go watch the Hugga Bunch movie.
Everybody, and welcome to another episode of this podcast, Good Times, Great Movies. I am part of the podcast. I, with my podcast partner here, DP McCambridge. I am Jamie Lorello, and we are here bi-weekly to talk about some really rad 80s movies from the 80s.
Well, they're all from the 80s.
They are. Usually it's always a good time.
Sometimes they're rad. Other times they're about giant puppets. I don't know. Like
they animatronic kind of puppet
this
babies.
Movie won an Emmy. It won an Emmy.
I saw that and I didn't know if that was true.
Well, I mean, I don't know if it's true. IMDb told me, but I have no reason to doubt that.
To doubt? What for?
But what are you up against during a daytime Emmy? Were they, Port Charles? No, that wasn't around during that time, was it? Am I just making up soaps?
I'm not savvy with soaps.
Let's just say
I'm just going to say.
That's been around forever.
That's better.
So it must have been like some sort of effect from General Hospital in this movie, which relies heavily
sandwiched in it.
Animatronic puppets.
But huggable ones, let's be honest. Very cuddly,
and
very
cute.
I
have a question for you before we start this. First of all, we went to YouTube. Well, I mean, I'm saying
that's where you had to get the movie. Yes. Yeah, I did too. Yeah.
When they talked, did it sound like there's this weird R2-D2 beeping going on underneath their voice? Okay.
Yeah, they had a weird, echoey, like they were inside of something when they were talking.
Right.
Very strange.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I started to think maybe for some reason I had listened to or watched a bad tape. Or something, but nobody else talked like that. So it's like it's
the
puppets.
way they talk.
Right.
I remember that even from watching it as a kid. They talked like they were.
Why would you do that?
It's because it
makes them less huggable when they talk like that.
Well, in seeing them, they were. Yeah, they definitely are. Yes, a little bit. They have these big. Can we describe what they look like?
Should we tell people what movie we're talking about?
Oh, probably.
Well, first of all, it's the name. It's on the podcast. So if you hit play, you probably know what this is. But anyway, go ahead.
Right. The name of the movie, it's also a doll that was from the 80s, is the Hugga Bunch. It's the Hugga Bunch movie. And there was a doll, a series of dolls. I had one. I had the Patootie was mine. It was the blonde one with the little ponytail.
Please don't describe them. I watched this movie 2 days ago. I can't remember that there were different ones. I know there was a boy
There's
and
a whole
girl.
little army of them. There's a boy and a girl. My sister had the pink one, the one Huggins, the star.
The star of the show. I can't believe we watched this movie.
So describe... Can we describe what they look like?
Well, hold on.
Wait,
before we... We're not even into the movie.
Okay.
Maybe we should save it for when they show up in the movie.
All right.
There's a decent amount of this movie where there's no Hugga Bunches involved.
Where there's some background. We got to know the family that the Hugga Bunch is about to invade.
You chose this movie for some reason. And I would like to know what that reason is. I know you own the doll, but... Do you remember watching this movie?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
So this was an
event?
I
remember. My sister and I watched it a couple of times.
TV?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. We had it taped off the TV. We would watch it. We watched it a bunch of times. And I remember as a kid looking in, because we had a mirror, I don't want to give too much away before we talk about it, but I would look into my mirror. But now my mirror wasn't attached to my closet. It was a freestanding, Longmere, and
Okay.
I thought that was why I couldn't transport to the Hugga land.
Oh.
Because mine
You
wasn't
need a
attached
closet
to my
on
closet.
the other side.
Yeah.
You need that.
That was
near
key.
grounded.
I thought that was key. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So, we watched it lots when I was a kid. There was watching it now, there was parts I vividly remembered, like and I remember, like, because, you know, when you're a kid, you reenact, you play the movies that you see. And I remember playing this movie, pretending that we were, and because we had the dolls.
I don't normally spend a lot of time on IMDb with these movies. But when the movie is as short as this one is, P.S. folks, if you did not watch it, it's like 45 minutes. You can get through it.
You got the time. You should just watch it.
So I went to the bottom of the IMDb page where people write comments or ask questions, and the questions were so good. Now, I'm just doing this off the top of my head. I didn't write any of these down.
Okay.
But somebody said, "Is this the movie with the washing machine scene?"
Yes!
And then somebody else wrote, "I knew I didn't dream this." And
it does feel like a dream.
Those were the comments that I saw, which I thought was fantastic.
Yeah, and that's perfect because the washing machine, it is a moment that you'll vividly remember if you watch it.
It looked terrifying.
Yes, and you feel so bad for her. First of all.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm glad that you remember watching this movie. I remember.
Do you have any memory?
I do. My only memory is, I don't know if you remember this. You had this tape at college, Jamie. And I don't think we watched the whole movie because none of this looks familiar. But I remember watching the Hugga Bunch thing saying Savoir Faire. And I was where would I have seen that other than in your dorm room? And I think we also watched a M&M's commercial with a very young Matt Damon. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I had a tape of a bunch of 80s movies, cartoons. I think the He-Man Christmas special was on there. And so that's probably when we would watch the Hugga Bunch. Yeah, it was when she, and I forgot the whole little monologue she does about having Savoir Faire. It's kind of sexy.
Oh, she wants to seduce her brother, which is upsetting.
Yeah.
All right, so I am walking us through this movie.
You're taking us through the mirror,
It is called the Hugga Bunch movie, and in our last episode, you said it was all one word. You're wrong. It is Hugga Bunch. They are two movies. They are just an entire bunch of Huggas.
Oh, the Huggas is their certain.
They're certain. So this movie's from 1985, directed by somebody named Gus Jekyll. This movie stars a lot of people, and some people we should know, Jamie.
Yeah, some of them we've seen before.
The main girl, where have we seen her? She was the main girl in, other than Dolly Parton, but the main little girl in A Smoky Mountain Christmas. I was so happy.
That's right.
She didn't
Were you excited to see her?
Troubling haircut, though, in A Smoky Mountain Christmas.
No. Well, I like, too, that so in Smoky Mountain Christmas, it's appropriate that she has a Southern accent. But in this movie, she's the only one in her family with a Southern accent.
Yeah. And it would come and go. I couldn't really...
Yeah.
I was like, she sounds different than everybody else. I couldn't really pinpoint it as a Southern accent. It seemed like she was trying to hide whatever her real accent was.
Yeah.
And also her brother was the boy who blows the whistle in Teen Wolf. The dog whistle.
Yes. He's also in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Wait, he is?
Yeah.
Who is he? Oh, he's the kid that mows the lawn, right?
Yeah.
With the remote control.
Anybody
else? That's all I have.
Well, I thought that, so the version that I watched on YouTube.
Oh, the version you watched? How many different versions of this?
Well, what I watched on YouTube was pretty, the quality wasn't all that great. So for the longest time, I thought Aunt Ruth, the nurse, I thought that was Simone from.
Oh, me too. I had to check.
Yeah. But later on, they do a close-up of her when she cries, and she tells them, "Haven't you ever seen a nurse cry before?" And I realized that it's not Simone.
No,
but
when they went to Huggaland, I had paused and I was on IMDb because I was like, "That is Simone, and this is crazy." But it's not.
I was like, "Whoa, no, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not."
So first of all, the movie opens with the little girl, the main girl. What's her name? I can't think.
Bridget. Mm-hmm.
Bridget is telling a story, but she's telling a story to her penguin,
Sweet William,
about how they're just getting gifts. They don't normally just get gifts. You don't just and I was like, are these parents getting divorced? That's the first thing I thought. I was like, this is what people do if they're getting divorced, because
right.
She's like, oh, we just randomly got gifts, and
something very peculiar was happening.
Sweet William, why do you name a penguin? If you're, what does she say? She's like 7 or 8 years old, something like that.
She's 8, yeah.
She names her penguin Sweet William. It is amazing.
And he's a pretty sturdy penguin. He's just not a flimsy stuffed animal. He's like a big.
He's stout. He's stocky. If you sat him down, he wouldn't tip over. If that's what you mean.
No. It's not like something that they won like at a fair or something.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. This is the weird thing about this movie. It doesn't start like that. The girl starts to tell us, the audience. She's talking to the camera at the beginning, telling us, parents just don't give kids gifts. She gets Sweet William, then it's back to her on her bed. But now she's not talking to the audience anymore. She's telling Sweet William this tale about her family situation. She's got to fill him in on what the family dynamic is.
Well, he's new to the family, so he needs to be informed. And we as the audience, what easier way to catch us up.
But she's not talking to us anymore.
Yeah, no.
She's like, let me tell you a tale about how I got Sweet William. All right, enough of that. Sweet William, here's my family. Here's the sitch.
Here's the lowdown on the fam bam, right? Yeah.
So she lives with her mother and father.
Her parents who give
undefined. Yeah. Her dad seems to have a very important job, though.
He's political of some kind, because the governor calls the office at one time, or the governor calls the house at one time.
And they just live in the suburbs. And I love how they have a phone on their kitchen counter, and then they have one on the kitchen table, which is probably 5 feet from the kitchen counter. Yeah. And there's a grandmother living with them, and she has a brother, of course. And the grandmother, she's like, Grandma just tries to stay out of the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
And poor Grandma, the governor calls and she picks up and she goes to put him on hold and hits like the red button.
Yeah.
Oh. And then
she thought that was the right thing to do. She's kind of trying to be helpful, but she should just stick to cooking, they decide. Grandma should really just stick to cooking.
She's just in everybody's way. And before all this, though, we do find out that it's her house. Like, this is her house.
It was, she raised her kids in this house. This is her house, and now she lives there with them.
Right.
Now, Aunt Ruth, who is a nurse, I don't know what, and constantly in her nurse's uniform.
Does she live with them?
I didn't think so. But she's there a lot,
she's
right?
Always in a nurse's outfit, though. I love it.
Yeah, I think it's because she's sort of the meaner one. She's the one that's really pushing for Graham to be put in a home. There's some discussion, right?
Yes, exactly.
About Graham going away.
And is this? None of this is explained. But from you watching this, is this aunt her daughter?
Yeah.
Or is she
Graham's
like the
daughter.
wife's sister?
No, I think it's the daughter. She's pretty cold, but that's why I think they make her a nurse, because otherwise she's a pretty kind of cold biatch, right?
Oh, definitely.
But if she's a nurse, you got to know she's got a sensitive side and she really wants to help people.
Right.
She's looking at it from a medical standpoint.
Just like Nurse Ratched. She just wanted to help those people.
Yeah,
in these
exactly. Exactly.
She was really a victim in that film.
Right. We don't look at it that way, but we should. We really should. Yeah.
And her brother, he's just into electronic junk and baseball.
Yeah, and baseball. Yeah, he likes baseball and his electronics, his computer. And Andrew is his name, right?
Right. Andrew is his name, and baseball is his game.
There you go. And collecting baseball hats. He's got a collection of them.
So this girl, oh my God, I'm never going to remember her name because she's not a Bridget. She's not.
No, she doesn't look like a Bridget. I agree.
That a little girl has in the 80s.
No. Yeah, she doesn't look like a Bridget at all.
So we find out that when she hugs her stuffed animals in her room, when she hugs Sweet William.
Yep.
To welcome him to this family, she hears like a strange / annoying buzzing sound from her closet.
And she doesn't know what it,
Right. And by the way, she loves hugs. Like she goes
it's her jam. Hugging is her jam.
After explaining the family dynamic to this stuffed penguin, she goes out and hugs everyone in her family, and they want no part of this.
Oh, every one of them is way too busy. She tries to hug her Aunt Ruth, who doesn't want her outfit wrinkled. The parents are just a little busy. The brother is like, he's listening to headphones. He's kind of turned off by it, right? Oh, we forgot to mention, so when she hugs and we hear the weird noise, doesn't she go to the mirror and wave? But when she turns around and walks out the door, a hand that kind of looks like a penis comes out and waves. Right?
This would have been a very different movie. Yeah, I don't remember that. But I do remember she was annoyed because she would go to her closet and open the door and be like, who's in there? Who's making weird noises? And then she would leave, and I guess a penis came out. I totally forgot about that. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So, but then, she goes downstairs. She tries to hug everyone, and then she makes herself a very odd breakfast, right? Breakfast is ready.
I guess it was a very Pee Wee Herman-esque breakfast. That's what I thought. I was like, they have eggs and bacon and pancakes.
Sunny side up eggs ready for her to just put on top of her pancakes.
Sunny side up eggs, which are clearly fake sunny side up eggs.
Yeah.
You see her dump those things out. They're like the toy eggs that you would get in like a little like rubbery kitchen set as a kid.
Yeah, because I don't even know if we see her eating it, right?
No, she doesn't. Nobody eats. But the kids like have their separate kid table so that they can't be disturbed as the adults have a conversation about putting the grandmother in a home.
Right.
And
or as Andrew says, out to pasture.
Idiot, they're putting her out to pasture, you dummy. You know, like a cow that you don't want until it dies.
Yeah. He's kind of he's not much older than her.
No, he's 10, we hear later.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's
But he's got it all together. He knows what the score is, even though he's
a mature
headphones.
10. Yeah,
I assume the headphones aren't on and he just wears them so nobody bothers him.
Smart move on Andrew's part, yeah.
And she and her brother have a great dynamic because she tells her brother off several times in this movie. Anytime they talk, she's like, shut up, you idiot, you dummy. You don't know, I'm going to save grandma. And that's basically what she says.
Yeah, she gets in his face and he doesn't really come back at her much. So when they find out that grandma's going to go, or this is the plan, she calls it a chrysalis, right? This is a chrysalis.
One of the many bits of humor in this movie.
And she's not having it. She doesn't think that this should be.
No.
We're not doing this to Grams. They call her Grams?
Grams.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we're not doing this to Grams.
Yes. Then she visits Grams in the attic, which at first I was like, oh no, is this where they put her?
That's what I thought too. I was like, is this her room? Is this Grams' room up here? But no, she's going through old pictures.
Yeah, she's really just there looking at old memories. I guess getting stuff together that she's going to take with her to this home, I think.
Yeah.
And
it all happens really fast.
Like, this was so sad. Through this whole scene, I was like, I don't want the Hugga Bunch movie that's going to make me fucking cry. I don't need this.
I don't need this right now.
It really is sad.
It is.
Because they bond over their mutual
love of hugging.
Their mutual love of hugging. And she even says, she's like, Gramps, remember once you told me about the land of hugs? Is that real? And she's like, of course it's real.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we get the kind of hint because at some point she says how she hears voices in her mirror.
Right.
And Graham's, I wish they went into this more. Clearly Graham, whose house this is, knows about Hugga Land and has probably seen them herself.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I didn't get any indication of that. I mean, she literally does talk about Hugga Land. So
yeah,
I guess
she
does.
Loves
and then later she sees her talking to a stuffed animal, and the animal talking back, and she just kind of like walks away like this
Graham
is totally
gets it.
Normal.
Yeah, Graham gets it.
Yeah. So so I guess all right, maybe she did go there when she was younger.
I feel like that's why Graham and her have such a special relationship. Besides their love of hugging, Graham knows about Hugga Land and knows that they're gonna, contact her through the mirror.
Well, then Graham tells her to hit the bricks, and she's got to keep doing her thing. And then we get smash cut to the Bridget yelling at a monkey at a tea party.
Oh yeah. There's the tea party. With the monkey, the penguin, and the rabbit are all at the tea party.
Right.
And
Yes.
the monkey was stealing a cookie.
Stealing
right?
cookies, she is having none of it.
No, we are polite members of this tea party.
She's still introducing, at this point in the movie, she's still introducing Sweet William to everybody.
Well, that's what this tea party was for. It was Sweet William's tea party introduction.
I guess
right?
so. Yeah.
Yeah. And now, does she hug one of them now at some point? Is it Sweet
She
William?
hugs she can't stop hugging Sweet William. She can't stop hugging this guy. And
so
this is when a terrifying doll jumps out of her closet mirror.
Well, and to be honest, she looks so. First, there's this high pitched weird whistle sound, that crazy sound.
So obnoxious.
It is very jarring. And then first, the face comes out of the mirror. Right. First, we see Huggins's face.
Oh, I mean, these are Emmy Award-winning special effects. So yeah.
And she looks a little freaked out, don't you think? That when she first sees it, Bridget is a little bit freaked out.
She
falls
really
back on the bed.
Tell that she had any emotion or expression throughout this movie.
Okay, fair enough.
She's not a great actress. Let's just say that.
Well, she's only made so many films. I think 3 were her top.
Oh, was that it? Okay.
Yeah, I don't think she went very
far.
The
dad has made a ton of stuff.
Really?
He has made a career out of being on TV shows. Oh, he's still on stuff now. Yeah.
Really?
His IMDb page was stacked.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
I did not recognize him at all, but maybe because he's just that dad kind of character.
Yeah, he has no... I don't think this is the movie that got him work.
Okay, fair enough. Now, okay, so I have seen a Hugga before.
Sure.
Can you describe for the audience with the Hugga what she looks like, what Huggins kind of looks like? How would you describe her?
It looks like a very plump baby doll, right? She's
Yep.
like a regular sized baby doll, but everything's larger. Their heads are
her heads are huge.
The head is huge, and she's got curly hair, and then they have these sort of independent eyes.
They're
not stitched on because they can move. They look all around.
That's the creepiest part of them, I think.
Oh, the eyes
besides their weird bodies.
The eyes are terrifying.
And they make the clicky noises their eyes make. It's like an animatronic, like at Chuck E. Cheese or something. They make the weird noises.
They really did look a lot like an animatronic at Chuck E. Cheese. You're exactly right with that. And they do run at times, which is frightening in and of itself. When they moved, I was reminded of Chucky from Child's Play. Everything was shot from that same sort of weird low angle, and these things would just scurry on by. But a lot of times, they are picked up and they are carried around from time to time. But for the most part, they do run. It's weird.
They're bulky though. They're very bulky when you hold them. You
Sweet
can
William. They're very sturdy, but way scarier than Sweet William is. He's adorable.
He's an adorable little penguin. Yeah, they're
And this Hugsy is her name. She's the leader of the Huggas.
Yeah.
She says right away. She's like, I'm the leader, so
I'm their leader.
We understand. She seems to think she's there for a different reason, which I guess in the end we find out is the actual reason she's there. Because she's like, listen, I know you got a problem. Your brother, he's kind of a creep. I'm going to charm the pants off him. It'll be great. Which isn't the problem. The problem is that her grandmother is going to a home.
Right. That's the problem that Bridget's having.
Right.
But the overall problem that she needs to help is to really kind of soften Andrew.
Right, but not having seen this movie before, I didn't understand what one had to do with the other.
Okay, right. Okay.
Because
so you just, when you first meet Huggins, you think she's kind of like a slutty doll? Because she does. No. She comes in saying, like, I'm in charge, and I'm the one in charge because I have the savoir-faire.
No, I'm not gonna slut shame a stuffed doll. No, I just thought that she misread what this girl's problem was.
I gotcha. Okay.
Which none of this makes any sense. But so she takes her to Andrew's room, and he has baseball practice. He's not around. But this is just an excuse to give this doll a really big St. Louis Cardinals cap. Yeah,
that looks really kind of cute on her head, though.
For a doll with a head that is bigger than this boy.
Yeah.
It's still a pretty big hat, but it does look good on her.
It looks kind of classy, I
Right.
think, right?
Mm-hmm.
She does explain that the way to soften the mirror, right, is through the hugs. That's how she came.
Right.
is
That's how you
because
can travel back and forth from Hugga Land to
Right.
this individual girl's bedroom, I guess.
Yeah, it's just this one particular mirror
Right.
in this one particular room, and hugs is what makes it softer because Bridget loves hugging so much.
I think that would have been great had we seen, rather than this girl explain the dynamic of her family at the beginning of this movie. Wouldn't it have been cool to see a different little girl at the beginning,
like grandma as a little girl?
Yeah, like come through the mirror, and then at the bottom it says like 60 years later. Or something.
I think
great.
I agree.
All right.
I agree.
And she's in the same room because it's her house and it's bequeathed to her by her family. Yeah.
Right?
That would have been great. But that doesn't happen. They quickly become separated in this rather tiny house.
Yeah, very easily. They're like literally down the not even. They're like
literally
walking through the
in
hallway.
The same room.
Yeah.
And the girl walks out, and then this doll has to like climb down from a dresser and then go out in the hall. They're calling each other. The girl's walking down the steps.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And this is when the mom comes by, and the doll has to think pretty quickly and dives into a pile of laundry and is thrown into a washing machine. And the doll is screaming for this girl
as she's turning in the washing machine.
I don't like this, and there's soap all over her.
But she gets her out. She gets her out in the nick of time.
Pretty much gives her a makeover then.
Right? Yeah, she gets her. She not only blow dries her hair, she puts her in hot curlers. She curls her hair. We get a little bit of topless Huggins for a little while as her shiny, shimmery pink dress is being dried, I guess.
I did not notice that. I didn't notice that they took the doll's clothes off.
Well,
I mean, you've seen this more than I have, so.
And again, I reenacted it, so we would do this
That's
part.
right. Okay. I'd be like, Jamie, why are you taking the top of that doll off in a suggestive manner?
Not at all suggestive.
Okay.
Well, and I like it because she kind of, so they have weird voices to begin with.
Right.
But did you notice that after she gets out of the water, she's got a little more of a waterlogged voice for a minute? Did you notice that?
No. But they do. No, I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm just saying I didn't notice it, but she does make mention of just like how heavy she is now.
Yeah.
Which makes it even more like this is just a doll. Like it's not a creature. This is just a doll.
A doll.
That is plush, and if you get it wet, it's going to retain that water and get heavier.
Sure. Going to be a little bit squishy.
Right.
Yeah. She didn't put her in the dryer. That would have burned poor Huggins.
No.
She just went through the washer. Not even the full cycle.
But this is the part where we finally see that Graham's on her way out. Like,
oh, she's packing.
All of this stuff happened in
a day.
A morning, basically.
Yeah. And it's interesting because in the morning when they're talking about
they're like, I don't know.
Home,
maybe.
Yeah,
we should probably go down, check the place out, think about it. An hour and a half later, and Graham's
packing her bags.
She's got her bags packed and is headed down the hall.
Yeah.
And now it's crisis mode. So now Huggins is alerted to what the real problem is.
Right. Huggins sees.
Yeah, Graham's is on her way out. So Huggins says that we can go to Hugga Land, and the bookworm will know what to do because he's really smart.
Because he's the smartest guy. Yeah, smartest guy in Hugga Land. Oh, I do like when they are trying to figure out what to do. Like the problem is Graham is old, and you can't. What happens when you get old? You can't run, and you forget things, right? So now when they try to figure out what to do, and they both think for a minute, they both tap their little. Do you remember this part where they both think?
It's
very
kind
adorable.
of cute, actually.
Yeah. Anyway, so they think. And then Huggins comes up with bookworm, and
they have to hug to make the
really
mirror
hard,
squishy enough,
right? So they can
I like
both
how
go
she
through.
just touches the mirror and it it makes like a mirror squeaky noise when you rub your hand across it, and she's like, no, and they keep hugging, and she does it again. It makes the exact same noise, and she goes, it's ready, let's go. And they just go through, and they go to this land Jamie,
Wow.
you made me describe these Hugga things.
Yeah.
How would you describe this land? It's
Oh.
just pillows. It's just mushroom-shaped pillows everywhere.
It's a weird, cushy, pillowy. It's like they're like mushrooms and trees and little hills, little pillow hills, right? Very colorful,
but it's still relatively
pastel-y.
Right.
Yeah.
Everything looks kind of stitched together like a quilt, but there's no patterns. Everything is solid colors. Like pastel colors.
Yep.
Yeah, everything just it does. It just looks like a bunch of pillows just strewn about. And they're like,
some of them are mushroom shaped, some of them are like trees, but it just looks like pastel pillows that were kind of thrown into this landscape.
Oh, yeah. Thing. Oh, this is where I took note that the little girl is wearing basically Jerry Seinfeld's puffy shirt from her shirt. She looks like a little pirate. I guess before she was always sitting and laying down, but now she's in this Hugga land.
Around.
She's the largest thing in this land, fully exposed. And I noticed that she's got a weird pirate shirt on.
Yeah, she does. That's right. Little ruffles.
Yeah, it's very billowy. Yeah.
Now we do meet the other Huggas, right?
Can I tell you my favorite Hugga? Did you know there's a Hugga named Tweaker? Which I think was great.
Is it the little black Hugga too?
Oh, I don't know. That's so offensive if it is.
I feel like it is.
Okay. I was like, they named a Hugga Tweaker. That's terrible.
Tweaker, yeah. And Hugsley is the boy.
Hugsley's the boy, right. None of the other Huggas met, but first of all, they sing a song. They love hugging. They just love this. It's the answer
all they do.
All of
the livelong day
problems is hugging. They sing a song. They're just like, we hug, 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 and it just goes on.
It just goes on forever, and I love it because they sing this. All of a sudden, it's like a musical number, and they tap dance like their little Hugga feet are like on a bridge,
as
and
though these plush feet against a plush bridge are going to make tapping sounds. One falls in the water. It's
they get thrown
crazy.
In the air, right? Don't they kind of float through the air?
Oh, it is an amazingly choreographed dance sequence.
Oh, it's beautiful. We hug. I'll tell you why we hug. And hugs are made for sharing.
Hugs are made for sharing. I have nothing else to say. Just hug. That's it. But it doesn't matter because, like, all of these, again, this was made to sell toys, of course. It's like, G.I. Joe and He-Man and all that stuff in the 80s. Like, all that stuff was just created to sell toys. Right. But once we get this introduction, all these characters who have insane names, they're gone. They're just gone.
Oh, yeah. They don't join on any of the adventures.
Because Bridget continues on with, what was the main Huggy's name?
Hugsley and Huggins.
Huggins and Hugsley. So the girl, the leader of the Hugga bunch, and the boy follow her. And it's basically their story until the end.
Right, it's their adventure.
Right. Because all these individually, Hugga bunch sold separately, they're all gone. They were just there to show like cute outfits and look, this one has a different colored skin. His name is Twister. Right. And then that's it. They're gone, never to be heard from again. Did you know that these were they originally started as Hallmark cards? They were just cards. They were just characters on cards. Yeah.
I didn't know that. I do know, and we do see these. So the dolls themselves, again, because I had, my sister had one, I had one. They came with also the little baby dolls.
Oh, the babies were so adorable. They reminded me of the little Munchkins, the Munchkin babies.
We see them when we meet all the other Huggas. We meet the little baby Huggas that are sleeping.
They're really cute.
And each doll also came with a little Hugga baby.
So again, like Strawberry Shortcake, how they come with their individual animals.
Exactly. But you're right. We don't ever see any of the others again.
Yeah. And I love it. They sing this whole song, which takes forever. by the way.
Yeah. And it's very repetitive.
This is, and I do have to tell people, if this sounds terrible to you and you don't want to watch it, or you don't think you can even sit through 48 minutes in one sitting, this is on YouTube broken up into like 7 parts.
Yeah, there's 3 parts.
Oh, no,
there's 7.
Like 7 parts.
Even better. So you could see. And I do remember there was a cartoon, too. A Hugga Bunch cartoon.
Oh, I did not know that.
And of course, you delved into more of the other Hugga characters then. But the cartoon was weird because...
Oh, was it weird?
One of those
it was
cartoons...
weird? Really?
No, well, the mouths didn't move.
What?
Remember when cartoons... Yeah, like, they talk to each other, but they just, like, remember...
Like
especially
a Garfield sort of thing?
Yes!
So it was just their thoughts?
Well, no, they were talking to each other, but it was, like, cheaply made, or maybe because it was like from a library collection or something, but they interacted and they had little adventures, but they didn't, it was very simple.
Oh, okay.
Very simple.
All right.
And I think you could see those on YouTube too.
I got to check that out.
Yeah.
I'm not just saying that. I probably will find that.
No.
So they sing this entire song, and at the end, she's like, "Hey, I love this song, but I'm here by my grandmother."
Yeah, exactly. These songs are great.
The leader of it was like, "Oh yeah, I totally forgot.
Yes,
Let's go find that bookworm."
Well, I think once they get to the land and she starts hugging, Huggins is just like, "Yeah."
Oh, she's back in her element. Like, yeah,
right,
exactly.
Yeah, right.
So they meet the bookworm. They have to climb up this huge mountain of pillows to get to the bookworm.
Right. And they take a wagon. No, they take a wagon. They ride in that wagon.
Yeah. Oh my God, you're right. They get in a little car, but it is literally just like a radio flyer wagon, with pillows stapled all over it. And it is funny because all these little stuffed animals sit in this wagon, or the 2 of them, very easily. But she sits in, and her legs are hanging out over the side.
Yeah. Because this is the Huggins mate. That's their way of transporting.
So they take this means of transportation to visit the bookworm, who is clearly voiced by the caterpillar from Alice in Wonderland.
Yes. Good call.
That wasn't a question. Because I saw it before I watched it. And I was like, oh, this guy does a voice in here. I wonder if I can pick him out. I think it's the only voice he must do.
It's the same. He just does
it. Really
You wonder if those are... So the worm is this giant, like, just puppet worm head, I guess, right?
Yes. And then human hands.
Human hands with gloves on, right?
Yes. Right. They blew all their money on these Huggas, on that bridge dance sequence, and they were like, I don't know, just grab like a puppet head.
What are we going to do for the worm? Yeah.
And have some dude put gloves on his hands and tap around. The bookworm says that old people are old, and you can sometimes reverse aging or stop aging if you eat from a youngberry tree.
Right. You eat
but
the
fruit
youngberry
of the youngberry tree is located in Shrugsville, which terrifies those Huggas.
Shrugs are not at all hugs.
No. It's the opposite of a hug.
Yeah.
Clearly. If you're not hugging, you're just shrugging, which doesn't make any sense to me. But
and you're doing a shrug by yourself. You're not shrugging another person.
I don't know. Am I going to hug you? I would think like Shovesville or something, like Punchville or whatever. But shrug, I don't think that is the opposite of a hug.
Well, for their purposes, it is.
Right,
yeah.
right. So, but that's where that tree is. He opens like I don't know, what does he open? Like a big book or something?
Yeah. He looks up in the encyclopedia.
And it's just this... No, no, I mean...
Oh, that's when he's looking up...
The portal to Shrugsville, I meant.
Oh, yeah. When he... Oh, yeah, he does.
Because it is dark. It's just darkness. It's just a hole that goes on forever, seemingly.
And when he tells her about it, he tells her, goodbye forever. You'll never come back.
You'll never come back.
If you're going here, you're never coming back.
And
they're just like...
oddly dark. I was like, I did not know that that's where this movie was going. It never quite gets there, but...
No.
This did seem very dark at this point.
Yeah. Down to the nether bottom we're going. And she has to go. She's scared, but she's going to go because it's about Grandma.
Huggins has a great idea, though. She and the boy Hugga Bunch
Hugsley.
I don't think I wrote his name down once in my notes. They're going to go with her.
Yep, they're going to stay together. They're scared too. They gulp 3 times, 3 audible gulps, and then you just jump. You just free fall.
They fall into Shrugsville, and they find a little path that says you have to follow the path. Oh, but the path is sideways.
Literally. It says follow the sidewalk, but
Yeah, how do you do that? And then Hugsley walks, and he's like, oh, it's really easy, and we're all sideways. And so
then
again,
it's weird because
turning
now
the
we
camera
have
is another visual effect that helped them get that award.
And now, get that award. Now, do note that the sidewalk is a yellow brick road, essentially, right?
Right.
Yeah.
This movie takes a lot of movies we've seen before.
Yes.
And uses them liberally.
Mm-hmm.
They come upon... First of all, they get to the end of this, and then it's like gravity comes into play, or whatever the plaque says.
Oh, yeah. Gravity changes here.
And then they all fall down. It's funny.
Mm-hmm.
And they see a big, hairy behemoth. Is that what they call it? It's a big,
it's a hairy behemoth.
And it's basically...
breathing fire.
Yeah, it's basically like a woolly mammoth that breathes fire.
Yeah, very threatening.
And they don't know what to do. It's so scary.
Yeah, they're scared of him. Yeah. Well, Hugsley knows what to do. He's brave as shit.
Right. And why didn't anybody else know this? Because they sang a whole song about how hugs solve the world's problems.
Well, they're too frightened to think about hugging right now. This is the hairy behemoth is staring them down, and
he just goes up and he just hugs its big toe.
Yeah. Just starts hugging it.
And it turns into an elephant.
A baby elephant.
A little baby elephant. Like a really patchwork. Yeah, it reminded me of something. Like something that appeared in another cartoon or another kids movie. That elephant looked so familiar to me. But I don't know.
Maybe it was in a dream of yours.
Maybe.
Maybe you dreamt of this
dream
elephant.
about elephants a lot.
Hodgepodge, the fainting elephant. Right?
Yes,
That's his name?
yes.
Hodgepodge.
If there was no comic relief before this, Hodgepodge is clearly the comic relief of this movie.
He's it. Yep.
And he shows up a half hour into a 48-minute movie. So I like how Hugsley hugged him and then says, you owe me a favor. I'm like, what?
Oh,
Wait,
yeah.
What? He owes him a favor that he has to lead them to the castle, which they can see. It's like 100 feet away.
Yeah, it's right there. It's right there. Yep. Mm-hmm.
But he joins their band of heroes as they go to this castle. And the castle
hitch a
looks
ride on him.
scary. The castle looks like the opening of the Tower of Grayskull. It looks
like, you're right. It does.
It looks like a
That's
big
exactly
skeleton's open mouth.
There's a sign that says, small people will be digested.
Mm-hmm. Digested.
Not killed, not
just digested.
Digested.
So they see this tree. They go into this castle. They see this tree that they need the fruit from, but it's encased in glass. So they can't get to it. Mm-hmm. And then they're attacked by goblins holding sparklers.
They really look like potato sacks.
They do. Yes, you're right. Just little people wearing potato sacks holding sparklers.
Yeah, and that make weird kind of noises, right? But they are apparently the witch Queen Elvira's.
I gotta tell you,
was she your favorite?
I enjoyed me some Queen Elvira in this.
She was
shooing the shit out of that scenery. It was crazy. Every time she was on screen, she was like, "I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be bigger than everything else." Happening here.
Oh yeah, She had to do some theater acting before she got this role.
She was so raspy too.
Oh yeah.
When she was yelling, her voice was cutting in and out, but she did not care. She was going for it.
And what about her face? Like how she kept her teeth
yeah.
Silence
child. She's dressed just like the evil queen from Snow White.
Yeah,
it's just a costume of the evil queen that she's wearing. But she was fantastic. She was.
Oh yeah. She brings her A game.
Right.
She was the best in this movie, besides Huggins. Of course.
She was the best, and she didn't do much after this. I don't know why.
This might have been her top performance.
I
she might have given it all she could.
She knew what was going on, and she didn't care what anybody was going to say.
She screamed
every one of her lines. And she was I was happy to see her because I think, again, it's a short movie, but at this point I was like, oh, can we just get the fruit from this tree and get out of here?
Bridget explains that that's what she needs is the fruit of the tree. And this, we forgot to mention, although pretty much the queen is very, very vain.
Very
obviously.
vain,
She's just
right.
constantly shouting and looking at herself in the mirror saying, look at how beautiful I am, I'm so beautiful. The young berry tree is hers. She's been picking from it and eating from it every day. The clock chimes, it lets her know. She's got a magical glass key where she'll open it up and eat some of these fruits that kind of look like
little apricots, kind of.
Yeah,
they're tiny,
little crunchy apricots.
They're little. They must be
apricots.
disgusting because she eats them. She's like, oh, this is terrible. Yeah. But it works.
But it works.
Keeps her
young.
It
keeps her young and
As
beautiful.
we find out
right.
later, she's very old.
Oh yeah, so old that she's
So old,
like
she should
that.
be dead.
Yeah, she's dust.
Right. So she's not having any, like, Bridget gives her a bunch of crap about, I'm not kneeling for you because it's in our Constitution.
Yeah. She's like, I'm American. Yeah. She tells her to kneel and Bridget's like, no, I'm American.
Yeah.
I don't have to.
Yeah. But the queen, she doesn't care. She freezes Bridget.
Yeah.
And Bridget does some terrible freeze acting later.
Like,
when they can
awful.
just show a still of her, it looks fantastic. But when other characters are moving, this poor little girl is trying so
her
hard
little
to
hands
stay
are moving
still.
though. Yeah.
She should not have frozen that position with her arms like outstretched because she cannot hold that pose.
The little sack people come to like take her away, and that's when she gets frozen. So she's frozen, kind of telling the sack people, "No, let me go." Right? That's how she freezes.
But the sack people, in the meantime, the elephant passes out. He faints.
Yeah, he's always fainting.
And so the two Huggas and the elephant are locked in a prison cell then.
A dungeon. They get taken to the dungeon.
Right.
Yeah.
Which doesn't really last long because the elephant wakes up and they're like, "Ooh, we're stuck in here forever." And the elephant's like, "Well, you mean you want to leave?" And he just rips the door right out of the wall.
Yeah. He could do it with his noggin. They go, "Come on, we can't get out. Use your noggin." And he goes, "Is that what this is?"
Is this my
noggin?
noggin?
He uses his trunk.
He uses his trunk / noggin to rip the door off the cell.
Right.
And they escape. They have to unfreeze this little girl. What's going to work? I don't know. I didn't see it coming. But hugs work.
Hugs!
They just hug her. And they really are the solution to every problem.
It makes you just want to hug.
It really
your friends,
does.
your family, your grams. It just makes you want to hug. Yeah.
And the key is right there. They're like, well, we still need the fruit, but the queen just left the key there, so they're able to.
Yeah, she just placed it right next to little obvious queen. Little
so
obvious.
They have a little like, I don't know. My grandmother had one of these. Like it's like a candy dish almost.
Oh yeah.
They put all the fruit. They pick as much as they can and put it in this glass dish. And as they're escaping, the queen freaks out. She comes in. She's flipping out. They drop the key inside of the enclosure.
Oh,
and as it closes, she's reaching for the key and I guess gets her arm caught under the glass case, right?
Yeah.
The queen.
Yeah.
And then she ages instantly.
Instantly. It was crazy. Like she missed her time for her berry. And now
she must wait till the last second to eat these things.
I know. Bad move.
Because they show up, she eats one and then says, I'll take another for later. So then, in the 10 minutes that passed, she must have eaten that one and then needed another.
She needs her fix. She needs it right away. And if she doesn't get it, well, she instantly
she
ages.
Turns, and I do have to tell you, the aging was pretty good.
It does.
That was a pretty good special effect.
Yeah.
In a movie where the special effects that they won an Emmy for were laughable, at that point, I kind of watched it and I went, how did they do that? I don't know how they did that in this movie. But it's pretty good. And I do like it. Then they leave and they make it somehow back to Hugga Land.
Right. I'm assuming they ride the elephant back.
Sure. Yeah. Why not? One of my favorite lines from this movie is when Bridget goes, it's almost 4:30. I gotta go.
Yeah.
I don't know what the.
Because Grandma is leaving at 4:30 is Grandma's time to go.
Does she tell her that?
Yeah, at a certain point. Remember, there's a time when Grandma's got her bags and she's in the hallway and she's like, I can't talk. I got to get ready. You know, Aunt Ruth is taking me at 4:30. So she's got to hustle back by then to give her these berries.
But it's okay, Jamie, because they got the fruit.
Right. They got the jar.
They got the fruit, and they walked through the mirror. She's back at home. She's there before 4:30. Everything's gonna work out fine.
No.
What? I stopped the movie at this point. I
no, you over. Didn't.
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, I was like...
I was like, I don't know, 48 minutes? I can't do 2
You don't
more
know
minutes.
what's going to happen. Well,
stop.
So they have enough fruit that you would think Grandma, we're going to help her, make her young again.
She'll live forever, or at least 4 more hours.
Or at least, right. And what do they think? She's going to reverse her aging, and that's not going to be weird to anybody else, but whatever. So Bridget trips coming back in from the mirror. And here's the thing about the berries. If they hit the ground, poof!
We forgot to say that.
They disappear.
If they hit the ground, and we actually saw it. Yeah. We saw one fall off the tree earlier and hit the ground in the Queen's palace and just like turn to a little puff of smoke. So she dumps these things all over her bedroom floor and they're destroyed. And I love it how Hugsley's like, I didn't believe it anyway. I'm like, what?
Then why did you go through all that, Hugsley?
You risked your life for these things. Do they tell her that hugs are now the only answer? Or does she just come to that on her own?
No, they pretty much, to cheer her up, they say, because from the beginning, Huggins was like, well, it's what she needs is affection, and she needs to be needed. She needs to know that she's wanted and loved, and that's really all a person will need. Great little storyline, but great, just that's how you want to feel. Love, needed it.
I don't know. I mean, there are some bad messages to kids in this movie. I mean, that was a good one.
That was a good one, though.
I don't know if it's going to stop your family from putting Grandma in a home if they really want to do that. But let's get to that. We haven't gotten there yet.
That's what they decide. So then Bridget takes it upon herself. So Bridget already knows she loves Grandma and needs Grandma and hugs Grandma enough. But Andrew's really the problem.
It's so great. When she leaves her room, and she and Andrew kind of, are at the top of the steps about to say goodbye to Grandma. She lays into him. Yeah. She's like, listen, you're going to go down there and you're going to hug Grandma. And if you don't hug Grandma, you're dead to me. She literally says, I'm never speaking to you again. Right. It's so great. She's so angry. And Grams is down there, and it's again so sad. I was like, this is so sad.
Yeah, Grams got her Easter bonnet on, and
I love how she's going to this home, and I don't know how far away this home is because earlier Grandma's like, "You'll see me all the time, for Christmas
and Easter
and my birthday
and the 4th of July."
Look, I assumed this place was 5 miles down the road. I didn't know they were shipping her out of state.
They're only going to see each other on holidays.
Right. But as Grams is packing up to leave, because she even says to Andrew, she's like, don't you go playing those computer games to make your eyes screwy or something.
Right.
And he loses it.
Oh, yeah. He just loses his shit.
He just starts sobbing uncontrollably. Don't go. I don't want you to go. You should stay. I'm going to miss you so much. He's crying.
You're part of this family. Yeah.
The whole family then mobs her.
And now they're all hugging Graham. And now Aunt Ruthie comes in her nurse's outfit and is like, we gotta go, it's 4:30. But she sees all this hugging happening and all this love. And
the dad's even like, she's not going anywhere. Yep. Mom, take that stupid hat off your head. You're staying here. And even Aunt Ruth is touched at this point and joins in the hugs and says, what does she say? Haven't you ever seen a grown nurse cry or something? And she joins in the hug. Grandma throws her stupid purple hat. Yeah,
she's like, "Woo, the Easter bonnet's gone," and now Graham's not leaving. She's a part of the family. Well, she's gonna stay.
She's part of the family. Just don't let her answer the phone. Yeah, just set some ground rules in this house.
Exactly. Just let her know what she should and shouldn't do.
Right. And now that Bridget knows how to get to that creepy land, she can take her grandmother there. They can hug all day long in that room and just walk through that mirror whenever they want. But this is not the end of the movie because we have a little scene at the end.
Oh, right.
Because it's nighttime.
Mm-hmm.
Bridget's getting ready for bed.
Yep.
And her brother comes in the room looking for his St. Louis Cardinals cap.
Yeah,
What'd
where
you
is
do
it?
with it?
Mm-hmm.
I know you took it. And she starts to explain that a doll in Hugga Land took kids.
Like, this is a story he's going to want to listen to and understand.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
He has no time for this. But we see, I guess, another little penis stick out of the mirror without
It drops the hat down.
holding a hat, drops it, and she sticks it on his head.
And then
he's satisfied and leaves. And the end of the last shot of this movie is so great because she walks up to the mirror and waves at her reflection. It's amazing.
Yeah. And that's the Hugga Bunch movie, yeah. And then it just...
And I know we've talked before longer than the movies go, but it's not a surprise that we did that this time.
Yeah.
The movie that, if you remove the opening and closing credits, it's probably a 45-minute movie,
it's a quick watch. That's why, like I said, I mean, if you've got the time to do it, you have the time, watch it in parts and just indulge. Either you were a kid and you have seen it, or like you, so you hadn't seen this movie, obviously.
No, I
right?
had never seen it. I knew the doll talked about savoir-faire, though, so I feel like maybe it was just that clip I saw.
Probably.
Maybe that was part of the commercial for the movie. I don't know. That looked familiar, but that was it. None of the rest of this movie
Did you know the dolls at all? Were you familiar with the line of dolls?
Yeah, I don't think my sister had any. She had a lot of the dolls of that same era.
Okay.
She had a bunch of Cabbage Patch Kids. She had Popples. Remember the Popples?
Yeah, the Popples.
Fold up into a ball.
Totally.
But I don't think she had a Hugga Bunch.
Okay. Well.
So, Jamie, I mean, this is a movie that you chose.
Yeah.
So you would recommend for our listeners to go to YouTube and to watch this if they haven't already.
Here's what I recommend, though. So now I do think that our listeners should. I mean, it's part of, I think that it's quick and fun
part of
and
the podcast.
Why? So just do it. But I wonder, now you have 3 young daughters. Is this something that you would have them watch, or do you think they would be creeped out by this?
Well, first of all, I have a 9-year-old. I think she's too old for this movie. The 6-year-old might really be into this. I think she'd really like it.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's got savoir-faire. I think she would like it.
Yeah, this is like something that I would put on so my kids didn't talk to me for 10 minutes, but it's 45 minutes long. Like, this is this movie's bad. Like, this is a bad movie. Yeah. I understand that you like it because you liked it as a kid. Like, I get that, of course. Right. Like, I like terrible things too, but this is a bad
Yeah, it's not. Bad movie. And it's rip-off of a lot of other good movies.
Yes. Yeah, I couldn't help. I just thought of Labyrinth.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
I couldn't stop the bookworm. Yeah. I was like, oh man. Yeah, it's a bad movie. I mean, it's short, so it was fine to sit through. And I think the worst thing about this for me was the fact that everybody was so bad in the movie.
Yeah, except the Queen. She was pretty good.
Oh, the Queen was amazing.
Yeah.
And what I would have liked to have seen is sort of these parallels, almost like The Wizard of Oz. I think it would have been great if the Queen had also been the nurse.
Yes. And in my mind, that did happen. Like, in my mind, how I remembered it, I remembered that she met this evil queen, and I thought the Queen was her aunt. But that is not the case at all.
No, and I really wanted that to be the case.
And again, if you had the grandmother, if you knew that the grandmother had been to Hugga Land, if that was clearly defined instead of just alluded to, I think that would have made it more fun and probably a better cast would have.
Yeah, and I don't know, don't have them have that weird, annoying beep boop.
Yeah, that
to
voice.
Their voices
yeah,
too. That was very irritating.
Yeah, it was like squeaky and weird. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so
I keep stopping it and starting it because I was like, I think there's something wrong with my audio.
Nope, it's just their voices. It's just their voices. But so I don't know if you could, I couldn't think of any recommendations because there's no other movie I felt like it. What I do recommend our listeners do, if they're not, totally sold on watching the Hugga Bunch movie. So what I did after, because again, this on YouTube, right? So then you go down sort of the YouTube wormhole and they have all these like cartoon or not cartoons, commercials from the 80s that they show for kids' toys. And they just have like 10 minutes worth of like commercials. And I watched like 30 minutes of different 10-minute commercial. And that was so fun to me. There was commercials for Pound Puppies and a Sit and Spin and all these like different Star Wars toys and all these toys that I remembered as a kid, and Play-Doh, lots of Play-Doh toys.
Well, my only recommendation, and this is a reach.
Yeah.
But the fruit that like kept people alive made me think of like Death Becomes Her, just like an Eternal Youth movie, which is insanely more fun than this.
Yeah.
But again, the witch in this, she should have gotten more work.
A little more work, you feel like, yeah.
So anyway, Jamie, another successful birthday choice.
Yeah.
So, Jamie, 2 weeks from now, we are into February.
That's right.
It is the most romantic time of the year. So we will be watching a movie about two teenagers that get trapped on an island.
Are they teenagers? Oh, yeah, they are.
I don't know. I don't know anything about this movie. It's the Blue Lagoon or Blue Lagoon. I don't know if the word "the" is. That's how little I know about this movie. I don't know if the word "the" is part of the title.
I think it's just Blue Lagoon. Yeah, I think that's what
Blue
it is.
Lagoon
with the Brooke Shields. Yeah,
Brooke. Right. That's the only thing I've heard. It is a terrible movie. Yeah. But I know that Brooke Shields' eyebrows are going to be there, so I'm a little excited.
And
I
feel like maybe there's a little Brooke Shields boobie. Is that like the scandalous thing about the movie? Because I feel like it's a scandalous movie. Maybe.
But wasn't it a movie that she made when she was like 15?
That's why I think it's so scandalous, because I think there's some like partial nudity. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll find out.
I don't know. So unlike this movie, which is not the most romantic thing.
No, this is romance.
I guess. That's right. If you're hoping to have sex with somebody, do not sit down and watch the
No. I mean, if you just want to hug somebody, then by all means.
But if you're out the door and you will never hear from them again. I mean, that might happen with the Blue Lagoon or Blue Lagoon too, but we don't know. We haven't watched it. We don't know.
We haven't. Yeah. What can we say? We can't say anything yet. So,
well, all right, everybody. Then we will talk to you in 2 weeks.
Go hug your grandma. That's what I have to say.
Go hug your grandma. Tell her you miss her.
Yeah.
Tell her that your parents should not have put her in that home. Go hug your parents and tell her to get her out of that home and make up a bedroom for her in the attic.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. We will talk to you.
1, 2, 3, all right. 4. Good night.
We hug and hug. I'll tell you why we do. It opens up our hearts and lets the love flow through. Love flows through. It feels so good. It makes you want to shout, so give a hug and find out what it's all about. All about. You can hug away your trouble, make it burst you like a bubble. If you're 1 year old or 93 or somewhere in between, giving all your hugs away makes you feel so good all day. And then, my friend, you'll get them back.
I'm the only one with savoir-faire.